Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IS Academy, Bengaluru. We will today continue with the series of previous year question paper discussion, and today we will discuss the questions of history subject from 2024 question paper, 2024 prelims, and today we are going to discuss about history. Okay, so in history, what are the things that are going to be included? First and foremost is ancient history, then medieval, and then modern, and along with it art and culture. Okay, so these parts, ancient, medieval and modern, are very static in nature, very static in nature, because it is already past, it has already been happened, and there is nothing is going to change it. But there will be static questions which will be linked with the current affairs. Okay, suppose any like any major king who is going to have like his 150th anniversary or 200th anniversary, such kind of things, then they are going to link the current affairs with the static, and then they are going to ask the question. Like again, for example, this year there was 150th anniversary of Birsa Munda, who is a historical figure who is very famous for tribal rewards, and maybe this year in coming 2025 question paper, we can expect a question on Birsa Munda in history. Okay, and other thing is art and culture. This part, it can either be static or it can either be dynamic. Okay, or current affairs. Static is some already part is already some monument or some like book, some literary source has already been written, and question is going to be asked on this one. Or sometimes what happens is any monument which has been established already, it is now included into UNESCO World Heritage Site, or it is now included into UNESCO Intangible World Heritage Site. So etc. things, then they can connect it to the current affairs, and then they can ask the questions. In 2023, after analysis, there were total of 11 questions in history. Of these 11, 9 questions were from ancient, medieval and art and culture. Okay, and only 2 questions were from modern history. Okay, only 2 questions were from modern history. So this year the emphasis was more on ancient and medieval history as well as art and culture, and mostly dominated by art and culture. So in today's session, we'll try to understand how difficult of a questions it was and how you could have tackled it easily. Without any ado, we'll move on to the question. So first question in set A of 2024 prelims question paper, the first question for history was 54th. It is related to Gautama Buddha. Okay, one thing for UPSC, Jainism and Buddhism are one of the most favorite subjects, you can say. Okay, every year there will be one or the other question related to Buddhism or Jainism in prelims. Okay, so they can be directly asked from the ancient history books such as R.S. Sharma, etc. Sometimes they will be moving out of the syllabus, and then they are moving out of these common books, and they are going to ask a question out of the box. In such times you cannot do anything, but in certain cases you can easily guess the answer and like get correct marks. Okay, in this question, the question is asking about, with reference to ancient India, Gautama Buddha was generally known by which of the following epithets? Okay, epithets. That is, what are the other names of Gautama Buddha? 1. Nyayaputta, 2. Shakyamuni, 3. Tathagata. So option is correct answer using the code below. 1, 2 and 3 only. 1, 2 and 3. None of the above epithets of Gautama Buddha. Okay, anyone with the basic idea of Buddhism, he must know about these two things, Shakyamuni and Tathagata. What is Shakyamuni? Shakya is the clan to which Gautama Buddha belonged to. Okay, because he belonged to Shakya clan, and because he became a Muni later onwards, then that is why he is called as Shakyamuni. Okay, and Tathagata is the literal meaning in the English, it comes to knower of truth. Okay, knower of truth, the one who is the enlightened one. Okay, who is the enlightened one? Buddha. After doing the 42 days of 42 days of yoga and meditation under the Bodhi tree, he got the enlightenment. Okay, he became Tathagata. So these are two epithets of Gautama Buddha. The first one, Nyayaputta, it is similar to what we can call as Gautama Buddha, but normally we can guess these two only. We can guess these two and we can eliminate this option. Normally, this Nyaputta is used as an epithet of Mahavira. Okay, Nyaputta means Nyaputra. Okay, he is the son of Nyaya. That is how they used to call Mahavira as. Okay, so here the correct answer is option B. That is 2 and 3 only. Okay, here you can easily guess the answer through elimination method. Okay, so the difficulty level is very moderate in this question, but it could have been easily tackled with the use of common sense. And then moving on to the next question. Okay, in this question, first one is modern history question. Who of the following rulers of medieval India gave permission to Portuguese to build a fort at Batkal? Okay, this can either be modern India, or this can either be cast in Middle India, because there is a overlapping. Okay, when Portuguese visited India, there were three major kingdoms in India. What were the three major kingdoms? In the north, it was ruled by Mughals, and in the Deccan, it was ruled by Vijayanagara and Bahmani Sultans. Okay, when they visited India, they were faced by these three huge kingdoms in India. So, in order to gain support of these kingdoms, they were involved in major agreements, treaties, or small battles with the different kingdoms. Okay, so here the question is, give permission to Portuguese to build a fort at Batkal. Okay, even if you don't know the answer, you could have easily guessed this one. Okay, where is Batkal? It is in Karnataka. Who were ruling Karnataka during the period of Portuguese? It was ruled by Vijayanagara. Who among the following is the major Vijayanagara king? Krishna Devaraya. Okay, there would be difficulty between Krishna Devaraya and Narasimha Salwa, because Muhammad Shah and Yusuf Adil Shah, they belong to Bahmani kingdoms, and they were ruling Andhra Pradesh and Telangana during that time. And Karnataka and little part of Kerala was ruled by Vijayanagara, and some part of Andhra and Telangana as well as Tamil Nadu. So majorly Karnataka was under the rule of Vijayanagara, and in this question it was actually Krishna Devaraya. Okay, Krishna Devaraya was the one who gave permission for Bhatkals to establish a factory at who gave permission to Portuguese to establish a factory at Bhatkal. Okay, this is easy question, because in the modern history, when you are reading the like advent of Europeans and the extent of Europeans, you would easily understand this question. Okay, this is one of the major first points which comes under the Portuguese rule. Okay, and then next one, modern history again. With reference to revenue collection by Cornwallis, consider the following statements. Under Ryotwari settlement of revenue collection, the peasants were exempted from revenue payment in case of bad harvest or natural calamities. 2. Under the permanent settlement in Bengal, if the zamindar failed to pay his revenue to the state on or before the fixed date, he would be removed from his zamindari. Okay, so here the questions are, they are asking which of the following Q1s are correct. Okay, so first we will understand what is revenue settlement or what is revenue systems. Okay, in British time, there are three major revenue systems in India. Land revenue systems. How they were collecting land revenue? There are three major systems. First one was zamindari, which is also called as permanent settlement. Okay, which was introduced in India through Permanent Settlement Act of 1772. And next was Ryotwari, and then third was Mahalwari. So zamindari system was introduced by Cornwallis, and the person who formulated zamindar system was Sir John Shore. And Ryotwari was introduced in 1820, and who was the Governor General during 1820 period? It was Lord Hastings, and the person who formulated Ryotwari system was Colonel Reed and as well as Thomas Munro. And Mahalwari system was introduced in 1833, and 1833 is the time period of William Bentinck, and the person who formulated the Mahalwari system was R.M. Bird. Okay, these are the basic like facts about land revenue system. In this one, zamindar system was Permanent Settlement Act. So there was a intermediary between Britishers as well as peasants. Okay, so this was Britishers and this was peasants, and there was an intermediary called as zamindar. Okay, he was the person collecting rent from peasants, and then he was giving it to Britishers, and his cut was 1/11 of the total revenue which he was getting, and rest of the 10/11 of the revenue was given to Britishers. In order to improve his share, he used to exploit the peasants. Okay, initially it was made by Britishers to reduce the burden on Britishers, but instead what happened is the zamindaris started exploiting the peasants, and they started corruption. They started doing the corruption too when they are sending the money to Britishers. Okay, now and after that Ryotwari. Here there was no intermediary. In Ryotwari, the revenue was directly collected by the Ryot by village commissioners or village officers. And in third one, Mahalwari. What is Mahalwari? Whole village was considered as a one Mahal. Okay, in village, all the peasants are like clubbed together, and they were made to pay the taxes. Okay, they will appoint a Mahalwari, and he was the person who was responsible for collecting the revenue from all the mahals. Okay, from one mahal where we used to collect the like land revenue, which was in proportion to the land owned by each peasants. Okay, and then the mahal used to send the money to like Britishers. Again, same thing what happened in Zamindari. The mahal war person started exploiting the peasants, even though himself was a peasant, he started exploiting other peasants. Okay, so there are faults in these questions, fault in these revenue systems. Next, the question is asking about under Ryotwari, peasants were exempted from revenue payment in case of bad harvest. Okay, here you can easily use your common sense. Okay, you have read about Britishers. They have ruled for more than 300 years, more than 250 years, and most of the policies which were British brought were in favor of themselves, and they were in contravention to the interests of Indians. Okay, here it is a positive statement. Okay, positive statement in the sense the peasants were exempted from the revenue payment in case of bad harvest or natural calamities. Do you think such a autocratic, such a dynastic kingdom like Britishers were able to give recession to or compensation to Indian peasants? No, right? So whenever there is a positive statement regarding Britishers, most of the time that positive statement becomes wrong. So here the statement one is wrong. And second one, under the permanent settlement, if the zamindar fails to pay the revenue of the state or to the state on or before the fixed date, he would be removed from the zamindari. This is a negative statement. So whenever it is related to Britishers, the negative statement becomes right. So here, even if you don't know the complete permanent settlement act, even if you don't know what is Ryotwari settlement, you can use your common sense here. So statement 1 is wrong, statement 2 is right. So option is 2 only. Okay, here we use common sense here. Okay, whenever there is a question about Britishers, most of the times it is in negative sense. Okay, whenever the question is about education and other things, there will be positive senses. But in case of policies, most of the time the policies were anti-Indian, more British favored. Okay, here you can easily answer the question. And then ancient India again. Okay, this is asking about there are no parables in Upanishads. Upanishads were composed earlier than the Puranas. So which of the statement is given? Okay, in ancient India during the Vedic period, Vedic literature comprised of what? There are two types of Vedic literature. One is Apaurusha, another is Paurusha. What is Apaurusha? Paurusha means it is a man. Apaurusha means man-made. It is made by, the literature is made by man. Apaurusha means it is made by gods. That was the belief. In Apaurusha, there are four literatures. They were Veda, Aranyaka, Brahmana, and Upanishads. Okay, for each Veda, for each Aranyaka, Brahmanas were appended. In the end of Aranyakas, there was Brahmanas. The Vedas dealt with hymns, etc., etc. There are four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, and Sama Veda. Like Rig Veda dealt with hymns of gods, and Yajur Veda dealt with different hymns for different purposes. Sama Veda dealt with music. Within Sama Veda, there are two types, Krishna Sama Veda and Shukla Sama Veda. Krishna was more prose form, and Shukla was more poetry form. And then there was Yajur Veda. Yajur Veda dealt with architecture, etc., etc. And then Aranyaka dealt with hermits. Hermits means those Rishi Munis. Okay, there were Rishi Munis, right? They used to stay in forest. So this dealt about code of conduct which should be followed by these Rishi Munis, as well as the students which are sent to these Gurukulas. Okay, in the ancient time, the sons and daughters of the kings and queens, they were sent to forest, where they were made to study in the Gurukulas, where they were made to follow all the orders of these hermits. This was given in Aranyaka. And Brahmanas, again, it also dealt with how you are going to conduct rituals and etc. And then there was Upanishad. Upanishads was around 1024 in number, and each Upanishad dealt with different issues. Some important Upanishads were Mundaka Upanishad. Okay, so Mundaka Upanishad gave the famous Satyameva Jayate. Okay, Satyameva Jayate, and there was Jabala Upanishad. Jabala Upanishad gave about Varnashrama, and different ashramas were given by different things were given by different Upanishads. This is Paurusha, and Apurusha were Apurusha meaning which were made by man. Okay, you can easily say that these were the earliest written literature of Vedic period, and these are the later period. First one was Upaveda. Okay, for 4 Vedas there are 4 Upavedas. Okay, for Samaveda there was Gandharva Veda, for Rigveda there was Ayurveda, and for Yajurveda there was Dhanurveda, and for Atharva Veda there was Shilpa Veda. Okay, Atharva Veda and Shilpa Veda dealt with architecture and stuff. Atharva Veda actually dealt with warding of the evil spirits and etc. And the Shilpa Veda dealt with forming altars, fire altars, in the shapes of these things. You have seen these fire altars in many temples where they will put fire and they will worship something. Okay, those things. Upaveda, and then Vedangas. Okay, these Vedangas were 6 in number, such as Nirukta, Kalpa, etc. Okay, Nirukta was like how, like etymology and how you are going to pronounce the words, and how matrices, Vyakarana, how you should be reading the hymns, and what the grammar should be followed in hymns, etc. And then other was Puranas. Okay, Puranas gave life history of the, or history of lineage of kingdoms. Okay, lineage of dynasties. What is lineage? That is data, like grandfathers, for like great grandfathers. So they were like lineages are given. And then there was Itihasa. Itihasa means it was epics. There were 2 epics during the Vedic period. That one was Mahabharata, other one was Ramayana. Okay, so these were Vedic literature. And the question is asking about Upanishad. First one is, the question is saying there are no parables present in Upanishad. What is parables? Parables are short stories. Okay, short stories who are telling about some sort of morality. Okay, for example, you must have heard about like famous woodcutter and deity in like pond. Okay, so he throws a sword, axe into the lake, and the lake deity comes out, and she says, like, they will initially give golden sword, and he says it is not my golden sword. Then she gives silver sword. He said it is not mine. Then she says copper sword, and he says, okay, this is my sword. Okay, and then she says that because of your honesty, I am going to give you all the swords. These are some small stories which are intended to provide morality. So there were actually parables present in Upanishad. There were parables of 2 birds which also provided morality. And second statement is Upanishads were composed earlier than Puranas. Okay, if what I have said is Upanishads were like composed earlier, so Upanishad comes before Puranas. What is Puranas? Puranas is the lineage of kingdoms. Okay, during Rigvedic period there was no kingdom, so there was no need of Puranas. So Upanishad came earlier than Puranas. Upanishads came between 7th century to 5th century BC during the Vedic period, whereas Puranas came between 3rd century to 10th century AD. Okay, so the second statement becomes right. Second statement is right, first statement is wrong. So the answer is B only. And next, okay, so the next question is about 60. Question number 60. Question is asking about latest inclusion into the intangible cultural heritage list of UNESCO. So this question is asking about art and culture. What they are doing here? They are combining art and culture with the current affairs. Okay, I already said in the initial beginning only, that is, any monument is there, that is a part of art and culture. It is a part of history. If it is going to be added in any list of these kinds, then it becomes current affairs, then it becomes important. They are asking about latest inclusion into the intangible cultural heritage set. If you are thorough with your current affairs last year, you could have easily answered this one. The answer was Garba dance, which is famous in Gujarat. Okay, Garba dance is like they will be keeping garba, like a small pot of clay, and on that one they will be keeping like deep or light, and then they will be dancing around that pot. That is Garbha means they are worshipping the womb of earth. That is the meaning of Garbha, and they are following this in Gujarat, and now it is already being followed in different states also. Originally belong to Gujarat. And if you deep it clearly, all these options, Chau dance, Durga Puja, Garba dance, and Kumbh Mela, all are included in UNESCO Intangible Heritage Site. But the question is asking about which was the latest inclusion. So the latest becomes Garba, and rest of the Chau dance, Durga Puja, and Kumbh Mela are also included in UNESCO Intangible Heritage Site. Chau dance was included during 2010 period. In 2010, Durga Puja was included recently in 2021, and Kumbh Mela was included in 2017. Chau dance is a cultural dance which is followed in West Bengal. Durga Puja is also merely followed in West Bengal and most of the northern part of India. And then Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is a Mahakumbh. They will call it as Mahakumbh. It is one of the world's largest gathering of devotees. Okay, it is followed for 12 years in 4 places with a gap of 4 years, 3 years. 12 years in 4 places. What are those 4 places? First one is Nasik on the banks of Godavari river, and second one is Haridwar on the banks of river Ganga, and then Ujjain, which is in Madhya Pradesh, on the banks banks of river Shipra. Okay, Shipra is the tributary of Chambal again, and then in Prayagraj, they are following Kumbh Mela in the mythical river Saraswati. It is actually confluence of Ganga and Amuna. Okay, Ganga and Amuna. It is mythically called as Saraswati river, and it is present in Prayagraj, which was previously known as Allahabad. Okay, so all the 4 are included in UNESCO Intangible Heritage Site, but recent one was Garba. Now, what is the next question? So, who was the provisional president of Constituent Assembly before Dr. Rajendra Babu Prasad took over? This can either come in polity or it can come in modern history. In modern history, I already discussed in polity discussion. So, the answer here is Dr. Sachidananda Sinha. He was the oldest member, and as per the traditions of British government, they appointed Sachidananda Sinha as the first president of Constituent Assembly. Later, he was replaced by Babu Rajendra Prasad through an election. Next, Government of India Act 1935. It can again come in either polity or history. In historic perspective, it is asking about Government of India 1935. Yeah, I already discussed yesterday. India provided for the establishment of foreign federation, including princely states and as well as presidencies of British government. And first statement becomes right. Second statement is defense and foreign affairs are kept under the control of federal legislature. This is wrong. It is not kept under federal legislation. Instead, it was kept under Governor General of India. So this statement is wrong. Answer was 1 only. And then again, moving back to the ancient India. So last year was dominated by ancient India. This year was dominated by ancient India. The question was, which of the following is a work attributed to playwright Bhasa? Okay, Bhasa is one of the earliest playwrights of India. Who is playwright? Playwright means those who are like drama kind of things. Okay, those are the playwrights. He was one of the earliest playwrights of India, and the options are 1, Kavya Alankara, Natya Shastra, Madhyama Yoga, Mahabhashya. Okay, so the Bhasa, he belonged to Gupta period. Okay, he belonged to Gupta period, and in these options, Kavya Alankara was written by another person, and Natya Shastra was written by Bharata Muni. If you know about Natya Shastra in art and culture, you might have read it. Okay, the first line of the dance forms of India, the first line says that Natya Shastra is the source of Indian dances, and it was written by Bharata Muni. And then Mahabhashya was written by Vasumitra. Okay, sorry, Mahabhashya was written by Patanjali. It is a commentary on what? Ashtadhyayi. What is Ashtadhyayi? It is the world's first grammar book. It was written by Panini. Okay, who is Panini? He was an alumni of Vikramshila University. Okay, not Vikramshila, Taxila University. So he wrote Ashtadhyayi, and on Ashtadhyayi, Patanjali wrote a commentary called as Mahabhashya. Okay, Mahavibhashya Shastra was written by Vasumitra. So there are some differences. So only option left here is Okay, the option left here is Madhyama Vayoga. Okay, Madhyama Yoga. What is Madhyama Yoga? Bhasa during Guptam period wrote 5 plays on Mahabharata. Okay, so he wrote 5 drama kind of plays on Mahabharata, and among those 5 plays, one was Mahamadhyama Yoga. Okay, and other 5 plays names are very difficult. There is no need to remember those things. You could easily eliminate this one. The question is difficult level is very high, but you could have, like, still you could have guessed it, because if you know those other 3 things, you can easily eliminate those things and answer it. And 64, again back to Buddhism. The love of UPSC for Buddhism and Jainism is limitless. So the question is asking about this person, that is Sanghabhuti. He is an Indian Buddhist monk who traveled to China at the end of 4th century AD and was the author of commentary on Dash. Okay, he wrote a commentary on following, and what is they are asking. First one is Prajna Paramitra Sutra. Prajna Paramitra Sutra. Option B Vasudhimagga. Option C Saraswati Sarvastivada Vinaya. Option D Dalita Vistara. Okay, so this is a kind of difficult question. It is not present in R.S. Sharma also. You have to Google it for the answer. So what he wrote us, so like Sanghabhuti wrote about Saraswati Vinaya Sayan. Okay, Saraswati Vinaya Sayan. What is Vinaya in Buddhism? Vinaya is the code of conduct which should be followed by Buddhist monks. Okay, so there is again one more Vinaya Pitaka. Vinaya Pitaka. Vinaya Pitaka. Initially it was written by Upali. Okay, initially it was written by Upali, which talks about code of conduct to be followed by Buddhist monks. Okay, so this particular Saraswati Vinaya Sayan is followed in China even till now. Okay, he traveled to China and learned about this Vinaya Sayan, and he wrote a commentary on this one. It is a code of conduct followed by Buddhist monks in China. It is which is followed even now in China, but this has been like almost extinct in India because we rarely find a proper Buddhist in India. So Sarvastivada Vinaya. It was written by Sanghabhuti. The correct answer is option C. Next one. After this, again art and culture and current affairs. Consider the following properties included in the UNESCO heritage list released by UNESCO. So UNESCO releases 2 types of list. One is World Heritage List, another is UNESCO Intangible Heritage List. What is intangible? You cannot touch it, you can only feel it. Okay, so that kind of cultural heritage which cannot be extinguished. Okay, because it is so important in the culture of a particular country, they should be preserved. Those kind of things are put in intangible heritage because you cannot touch it or anything, you cannot feel it. And second one is tangible UNESCO heritage site. These are the monuments which are present, which are constructed by the ancient and medieval kings of India. So the question is, which of the following properties are in UNESCO list of World Heritage Site? Option A, Shantiniketan. Statement 2, Rani Ki Vav, Sacred Ensembles of Hoysalas, Mahabodhi Temple Complex in Bodh Gaya. Here, if you deep it, if you are thorough with your art and culture, you should know that all these 4 properties are included in UNESCO World Heritage Site. But read the second part. How many of the properties were added in 2023? Most of the students, what they did was, after seeing the question, they said, okay, what gift by UPSC, so we can easily answer this question. Most of them marked option D, including me. I also made a mistake here. And when you read it in second time, it was said that including 2023, the option becomes only 2. What are the 2 which are included in 2023? Shantiniketan and Sacred Ensembles of Hoysalas. Okay, Shantiniketan is the residency of Guru Rabindranath Tagore, and Hoysalas, temples of Hoysalas in Halebeedu and Belur. Halebid and Belur. These are included in recently in 2023. So now an assignment for you is which of the UNESCO World Heritage Centers were added in 2024. That becomes very important for your 2025 exam. Okay, so do make note of these things. Next one. After this, okay, so this is more of a current affairs, but still following other of the books of the India way and why Bharat matters. I already explained this in polity. Again, it is a current affairs based because it is talking about the India way and why Bharat matters. That is more kind of a current affairs based historical question. So the correct answer is so yes, Jaishankar, Subramanian Jaishankar, Foreign Affairs Minister of India. Okay. Apart from this, I think I've covered all the polity questions, like history questions of 2024. So that's it for today. I hope you have understood importance of history, modern, medieval, ancient, as well as art and culture, clubbed with current affairs. That becomes very important. So if you have any doubts on this question, on this discussion, do write in the comment box. And if you have any suggestions, you can also write that in the comment box also. With this, I will end today's session. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.